All right. Welcome back to the Healthy Profits Podcast. This is Sammy and Ray. I just wanted to give you a little quick pre-frame on the episode that you're about to watch. If you've ever struggled with how to get somebody to go from Instagram to your podcast, or how to get thousands of people to your Instagram and not use funny algorithm stands and saying you act like a crazy person, this is the episode you need to watch, because Travis Brown has figured out how to amass over 100,000 followers on Instagram without using algorithms, without using all the crazy.
And he did that how quick?
I think he did it in 30 or 60 days, something very short, because he figured out what you need to learn to do, and we teach that at Well Podcasting all the time. So check this out. Grab a pen and a paper, because you will not want to miss what Travis brings.
Yeah, we were going to be holding this recording just for our personal clients, our agency clients, and we were reviewing it, and we're like, we gotta release this to the world. So you guys, it's a piece of gold. Get ready.
Love it.
Awesome.
So I'm very excited to kind of turn you loose on the Evolve Podcasting family. Betty, Stewart's here too. The cool thing about networking and things like that is I feel that a lot of times when we network, we really kind of catch the vibe and the frequency of people that really resonate with you. And when I first saw Travis speak, I actually binged his entire Instagram for about 2 hours.
Thank you.
Decided I wanted to buy everything he had. I was like, oh, do I want to start a side hustle, putting vending machines in places? What do I want to do? I then reached out to him via text message to just tell him who we were, and he was so gracious. He connected back with me. Since then, we both found out that we have a love for punk rock music. We have a history in music. Yeah, Betty's like, thumbs up. But the things I did not realize is this gentleman has grown his audience to 100,000 followers in record time without using all the BS dancing monkey kind of stuff. He's created frameworks. He's created a tried and true method that will make it so much more accessible and so much easier to replicate and to do it in real time. And for those of us in the Evolve Podcasting family, the thing that's crazy, and other people will be popping on here later too, but what I really want to really press into you guys about Travis is he is a genuine, amazing human, but he has figured out with his business partner how to really crush it in getting attention. And attention is the currency that is the most important right now. So strap in, get ready to take some notes. I'm going to be doing the same. Thank you for being here, Travis. It is great to see you. I've been loving being on your thread with all the malarkey that's going on as well. So it's really fun to see all this stuff. I'll let you take it away. Anything else that you want to add, but huge applause for you, Travis.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You and Ray are like this power couple dynamic. I love it. I was privy to the previous workshop that you've done today. So you're hustling today, and I just absolutely love it. So, I'm Travis. I am going to give you as much information I can today about leveraging attention through social media. This is going to be for your podcast. This is going to be for your businesses. This is going to be for the way you communicate. And when Reels first came out on Instagram, which is my favorite platform, I said, I'm never doing that. I don't want to point at the bubbles. I'm not shaking my booty. And so, as Reels started getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and obviously TikTok and the YouTube Shorts, I said, okay, I've got to figure this out, because I want to, I want to have integrity. I want to make impact, and I want to do things. I have a lot to say. I just can't point at bubbles all day long. So I needed to figure out a way that somebody with expertise could attract clients, could attract people that were interested in that expertise. So I've got a little PowerPoint. Could you turn on screen sharing? I'm gonna supplement this conversation with some slides, if that's cool.
You're good to go, my friend.
All right, cool. I'm not gonna PowerPoint you to death, but I do want you to know that. Let me just get this lined up here real quick. There's some visual stuff, and there's some stuff I'm actually going to show you that you can use today while you're on this call, okay? So this presentation is literally called Go from 0 to 100 Qualified Leads in 12 Weeks, because, followers are basically highly qualified leads. When somebody follows you, when somebody listens to your podcast, when someone subscribes to your email list, what they're doing is they're saying, want to spend time with this person. I want to spend time with this person. And there's a reason for that. It's either your vibe, the thing that you solve, the transformation you make, what you're about, something they saw about you, said to them, I could learn from this person. And maybe even I want to make the transformation that they've made themselves. Okay. So when you post on podcasts, emails, social media, a lot of people aspire to be exactly where you are right now. So even if you feel like you haven't hit the top of the mountain, that doesn't mean that you can't teach other people or make money from what you know, because you only need to be one step ahead of people to be able to teach them, okay? And you don't have to wait to be an expert or a PhD to teach people how to do something, okay? So, I'm Travis. I figured out how to get leads, followers based on expert content. I got 14 million views in 6 weeks based on the framework I'm about to show you today. I started out teaching podcasting. And then I switched over to the creator niche because I was like trying to help podcasters make money and market themselves. And at this point I had 9,100 followers. I would get 4,000 views on a reel. It was just really slow progress. And then I decided to broaden out a bit. And so one of the things I want to express to you is the niche is really dead. You need to learn how to have a niche in a viral world. Okay. You need to have a niche that can reach millions of people. You got health, wealth, and love. Those are the big three. And if you can fall into one of those categories, you personally have access to millions and millions of people. So that's exactly what I did. I focused on money making, wealth. And I started posting videos about business ideas and how to make money. And that's when everything changed for me. Millions and millions and millions of views. I get millions of views every single month when I actually post. And there's nothing special about me. I failed out of school. I don't have a marketing degree. I'm ugly. I am not a video editor. I'm more of an audio guy. But if I can do it, I know that you guys can do it too. Okay. And this is important because when people wake up in the morning, they don't even kiss their spouse. They just pick up their phone and they go to their text messages, their mail, and then their social media accounts. They don't actually open up the podcast app, right? That's not where the traffic for attention is. So I want to teach you how to get more leads because, as marketers, we need leads. And that's really what we need in order to have a successful business. We need to get in front of enough people to attract them to us in some capacity to be able to close them on our transformation, right? That's what all marketers need. So you really have two options, okay? And everybody has two options. It's not either or, it can be and, but you have options to run paid ads. And you can get in front of specific people, gender, demographic, location, interests, all through Facebook ads, which is a great tool, but it requires money, testing. You have to put up with meta guidelines and all the stuff that goes along with that. Or you can just leverage organic marketing and get free advertisement for yourself every single day. And I do run ads and I love ads and I think there's nothing wrong with ads, but I really love getting free ads. I really love getting millions of views based on my expertise for free, which saves me, every time I hit 1 million views, I've estimated it saves me about $9,700 in ad spend. So that's what we're here to teach you today. How many people here have a high ticket offer? Or is it high ticket offers that we're working on here? Let me know. Yeah.
There's a lot of mid tier. Yeah. Betty has a high ticket offer. Stuart has a high ticket offer.
Cool.
We all have. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, listen. All offers are good offers, and you should get paid what you're worth for your offer. But most people won't buy a high ticket from strangers, okay? So even if I run an ad to buy a high ticket offer, it is going to take some nurturing to get that person on board. They're going to want to know that I'm the right person, that I'm going to get them the right transformation. I'm going to have to do email campaigns or coffee chats or, a lot of nurturing to get that cold audience ready to buy a high ticket offer. But it's actually the opposite with organic, because organic's nurturing your audience 24 hours a day. It doesn't feel like an ad. It doesn't feel like they're being sold. And there's little things that get people just attracted to you. There's people that are attracted to me, and there's people that aren't attracted to me as far as a transformation. And that's great. That's exactly what I want. And the same goes for you guys. There's people that are attracted to Sammy, Ray, Betty. You said Stan? Lots of people on this call.
Mm-hmm.
We're not for everyone and we don't have to be, but we do need to have these three things. Okay. If you want to make money and you want to use organic marketing, you need to have these three things. Okay. The first thing you need is a niche that converts, okay? So we talked about health, wealth, and love, right? Those are like, very, very, very broad, but we need to be able to attach ourselves to a transformation that all people want in order to reach millions of people. We can't be a dog walker that only walks a specific dog and only uses a specific leash and expect to reach millions of people. So the niche that converts is how you position yourself, the packaging of your candy bar, okay? So on my account, you'll see I help you make your first $1,000 online with a side hustle with zero investment, okay? That is specific to a specific person who wants to quit their job, wants to start a business, wants a piece of the pie. And I've actually gone the opposite direction of all the gurus. Instead of making you 10K a month, I'm going to make you 1K a month just to show you that it's possible. Okay. And that attracts a specific person to me. Okay. But we need to optimize your profile and make sure that when somebody actually views your content, they go, this is the person I've been looking for, and they press follow, because now they are not only a prospect, but they are a warmer lead for your business, okay? We need organic reach, okay? We need to train the algorithm, and nothing I'm going to tell you today has anything to do with tricking the algorithm, hashtags, dancing, shaking your booty, any of that stuff, because I think that's all old stuff. No hashtags, nothing, okay? We need to be creating content that gets pushed out by the algorithm, which is a referral engine, to non-followers, okay? I love my followers. You love your followers. But the whole name of the game here is getting non-follower reach to attract new people to us. And then, of course, we need an irresistible offer, okay? And an irresistible offer is something that's easy to understand, that basically depicts exactly the transformation the person's looking for, that they cannot wait to buy. The more robust you make your offer, the more you talk about your offer, is the less sales you make, okay? So my offer, this is what I use when I go into networking events. I go into a networking event and I meet somebody and they go on for 8 to 10 minutes about what they do. At the end of that, I still don't know what they actually do. And then they turn to me and say, what do you do? And I say, I help people get 100,000 followers based on expert content in 16 weeks. That's all I say. And they go, oh, I want that. I want that. I don't have to explain it. It's the thing that they want. So you need to make sure that your offer isn't confusing. It's simple. It takes them from point A to point B of a transformation. And we can actually use our new leads to be posting, stories, things, asking people what they actually want, instead of building things of what we think they want, and then they never buy. And I built the course. I spent 6 weeks building a course that nobody bought. And I want to save all of you from building anything until you have somebody.
Those are the best.
Is somebody who's actually paid for it. And that's really anything, You can do something really easy. I'll just share this with you real quick. We call it an ITAP post. It's I'm thinking about, okay? You could post something that says, I'm thinking about helping 5 people lose 15 pounds in 90 days without going to the gym. If this is you, comment, 15 pounds. All you're doing is saying, I'm thinking about doing it. You haven't made an official offer. You haven't made an official price. You haven't even figured out the way you'll deliver that. But what you're doing is you're gauging interest in that specific offer. So I challenge you guys, when you do have an offer, to really do as much testing as you can to make sure that the offer converts, because a lot of people run to ads and run their offer, but they have never made an organic sale. And that's a really good way to waste money. If the offer doesn't convert organically, it will not convert over ads. Okay? All right, but you need all 3 of these. You need the niche that converts. I need your bio to clearly tell me you're the person for me. You need to be getting non-follower reach in order to get new blood into your business on autopilot for free. And you need an offer that converts. And if you have these 3 things, which are very simple, you could be making a ton of money with your high-ticket offer, because people are there for the niche. They've been attracted to you based on some type of content you produce. And then you have an irresistible offer that a percentage of those leads will buy from you, because people love to buy things. We don't like to do things alone. We like to buy things. It feels good. And the human consumption pattern right now is that we're foraging for more and more information. So we're willing to pay for information to get where we want to go. Okay. So here's a little quick view of how people consume your content in 2024. Okay. This is just screen recorded, and I would be willing to bet most of you consume content like this, but this is going to be very important for the content strategy going forward, okay? I'm just going to play this little video. This is me actually scrolling, just recording how I look at content, okay? And what you'll notice is my thumb is swiping, my thumb is doing all the thinking, and I'm looking for something that's interesting to me. And this is about how much time you sort of get before somebody clicks away from your video, swipes away from your video. And the reason I'm using video is because people love TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels. That's the way people like to consume. So our thumb starts swiping automatically because we're not interested in something. And that's okay. Not everyone will be interested in your video, but we need to make sure that we can produce content that people are actually interested in. And this is where reverse engineering comes in. But they do make a snap decision about you. Now, when they make that decision about you, they oftentimes press the button to see your account. And this is where the niche comes in, okay? So they're going to look at this page. This is my business partner, Dan. They're going to look at this page and in 5 seconds make a snap decision. It says social media marketing, grow and monetize your Instagram fast, and some other information, right? They're going to look at your picture. They're going to look at the top line of your bio, and they're going to say, is this the person for me? So you guys need to make sure that your bio has a good profile picture. Shoulders up, right? We want it to be big enough to, like, even on a phone, make out your face. Human beings are drawn to faces and people, not logos. And inevitably, they're not buying your product. They're really buying you. So you want to make sure you have a nice, clean, clear profile picture. The first line of your bio needs to be a tangible outcome. When I say tangible, I mean the more you can depict the exact thing they're going to get. For me, I'm going to help you make $1,000 a month, okay? The human brain can visualize what they do with that money. They can now qualify, oh, I'd like to have an extra $1,000 a month, okay? The more tangible, the whether it's a number, a time frame, the better. And you also need to expose some type of clear method to get it. So the second line is usually how you get the outcome. And on social media, it could be as simple as daily tips and tricks for X or my 3-step method, anything that you want. If you could show people you have a method to get the result, you will get more customers. When you start selling Zoom calls and your time, you don't actually have a method. You're just selling your time, okay? So if you want to get more customers, you want to be able to say something like this. First, I will, then I will, and finally I will. So if somebody says, hey, I want you to help me lose 15 pounds in 90 days, my 3-step method is going to be, first, we're going to set some goals and figure out exactly how much weight you want to lose. Next, we're going to get you on a nutrition plan that's going to help you lose weight without going to the gym. And finally, I'm going to give you some simple exercises you can do at home to help reduce your calories and help you lose that weight. How does that sound, right? But if I start going all crazy and talking about all the different things I could do or can't do, that's where I start to lose people. People love to have a method. So just make sure if you have one that you are actually using it in your bio, okay? And then if you have any social proof, that always helps. If you're an author, a speaker, whatever it is, podcaster, you can say anything that you want about yourself. Bios are more about what we can do for other people as opposed to, what we're about, because that comes out through our content. And then finally, you just need a line above your link that has a strong call to action. Nobody wants a free coffee chat. Nobody wants a free call. People want to value their time. So if you are doing a free call, I would challenge you to do something like a roadmap or a blueprint, something that somebody feels like they're actually going to get something back out of. They're not just going to get on a call to see if they have enough money to buy your product. So just make sure you have a really good call to action. This call to action is grow your social with AI for only $7. Why? Because people want to grow, they want followers, and they don't want to do any work. So we're putting AI processes into the program, and $7 is the cost of a cup of coffee. So it's kind of a no-brainer click. Cool? This is your niche, okay? And just to give you kind of, I've worked with hundreds of people in different niches. So everything I'm showing you here is based off of actual activity. This is all the code. Simon, he came to us and literally we changed his bio and he got 100,000 followers. The content was good. He was doing the right thing. But when people checked him out, they just didn't follow him. They just were like, this isn't interesting to me. It was all about him. And there was no transformation to them. So I just want to show you that your bio is really important and really powerful for qualifying leads, followers, customers, prospects, all of the above. And just remember, it's more about what you can do for them than what you do personally. Okay. It's helping people make that transformation, weight loss. You guys could drop your niche in the chat if you want, and I could, speak to that. But your bio is very important for qualifying new leads because, again, they are entering into an unspoken agreement with you to spend time with you every single day. Okay? All right. So we've got our niche, but how do we get millions of views based on our expertise? Okay? How do we get millions of views based on our expertise without using hashtags, trending audio, dancing, pointing at stuff, shaking our booty, et cetera, et cetera? Okay. The first thing we need to do is we just simply need to reverse engineer attention. Okay. I could make 2 videos today. I can make a video about typewriters and how you can maximize your typewriting speed and make physical documents that you've written, or I can make a video about ChatGPT. Which one do you think is going to get the most views?
Typewriters.
Actually, typewriters are actually now viral again, but ChatGPT, the AI is where the attention is, okay? So as opposed to having, access to 600,000 people, I've got access to, 6 billion people that are interested in AI. So the point of the matter is we need to learn how to research very quickly to find where the attention is in our industry. So Betty says weight loss for women over 40 and hormone treatment. Awesome, okay? So there's things that women over 40 are thinking in their head, feeling about their bodies, putting on their vision boards, listing. There's words that go through their head, okay? Might not be hormone treatment. They might not even know they need hormone treatment. That's how you solve their problem. But most women, in my experience of research, are more after a few things like anti-aging, like reversing the clock. If you look at any beauty product, if you look at any like a weight loss product, it's all about like fitting back into the dress you used to, looking like you were in your 20s. Anti-aging would be a really good keyword in that space, okay? But after we reverse engineer attention, this is the framework, this is the 3-step method. We need to refine because we're going to inevitably be testing some different formats and topics to see what people like from us. They might like it when we talk to the camera. They might like it when we show a screen. They might like it when we do a story. There's lots of different formats and there's lots of different topics. But once we do some testing, we can then stop doing what's not working and do more of what's working. The example I use for this is I have incredible foot pain. I go to the doctor. He says, "What's going on with your foot?" And I say, "Everything's totally normal. I'm just a normal guy, except at 9 o'clock at night, I hit my foot with a hammer 20 times. He's going to tell me to stop hitting my foot with a hammer. When you're posting content that you don't know will work or isn't working long-term, you are inevitably hitting yourself with a hammer by doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Because once we know what starts to work and we do more of it, we can actually go into what's called a signature format, where we show up almost every day in the same format, maybe different topics, but we're giving people what they want over and over and over again. It's why people watch the same TV show over and over again. It's why when you go to National Geographic, you know you're going to get lions, tigers, bears, and pyramids, not MMA fighting. It's what we want. We want to sign up for something that we know we're going to get. So this is the actual method, and now I'm going to actually show you what you need to do, okay? So remember, the importance of broadening out, very important, okay? If you are, a personal trainer, you might want to broaden out and test some topics in overall health, right? We don't want to pin ourselves down. The niche is somewhat dead. If you niche too far down, there's no one there but you and a couple other people, and that's not what we're looking to do, okay? And this is my grandma, okay? And I was telling her what I do. She was asking me what I do, and I said, "Hey, you should go post some content about your garden." So she did. And she had 144 followers, and her bio was, "We love all things #plants." And I said to her, "Grandma, we gotta do some work here." So I helped her with her bio. And now she has 25,000 followers. She's a grandma.
Damn.
Who never made a video in her whole life, and now she's absolutely crushing it. So what I want to tell you is if grandma can do it, I know all of you can do it too, okay? But I want to show you an exact example of a podcaster who came to me. She had just over 1,700 followers. It took her 2 years to get there. She was getting 0 leads a month. She's a relationship coach. She has a podcast called Married and Naked. She was getting like 30 downloads per episode, and she was literally frustrated. I went to Podcast Movement, which is a kind of a festival conference for podcasters, and we had a booth, and we met Tammy. And she is basically like, I'm going to quit. I'm done, right? Like she was at that point. So basically we said, hey, let us help you, because what we do is we help people get 100,000 followers based on their expertise that grows their business. And I want to walk you through her journey. Okay. So this is where she started. She was actually posting audiograms. Remember audiograms? It's like, 10 years ago, audiograms were like booming, right? Because we didn't know what to do, right? But clearly things weren't working. And just from a data standpoint, you could see 172 views, 598, 472, just sort of all over the board. She had no clue. So I taught her how to reverse engineer attention, and I'm going to teach you how to do that right now. And you're more than welcome to take out your phone and follow along if you'd like to do this process, or maybe there'll be a replay of this. I don't know. So this is how we're going to do fast research, okay? I want you to take out your phone, and I want you to go to TikTok. You don't have to be posting on TikTok to do this. You might need an account. I'm not 100% sure. But what we're going to do is we're going to type in our keywords into the search box. Okay. So let's see, let me just go back to Betty. Weight loss for women over 40, right? I might type in weight loss. I might type in weight loss for women. I might then type in weight loss for women over 40. There's also where they get the hot flashes. You know what I'm talking about?
Menopause.
Menopause. Thank you. Womenopause. Okay. There's menopause. There's different keywords that fall into your category, right? So you're going to type those into TikTok, and then you're going to tap on this little filter button. Okay. And when you filter, you're going to be looking for most liked in the last 3 months. And those are just two little boxes that you tap. And what that does is that filters the search for you. And what that's going to do is give you all of the most viral content in that keyword in the last 3 months. Okay. And it's going to show you, it's just literally going to show you all the most viral content. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to look at that content, and we need to basically look through the content. We need to look at the hooks. We need to look at the topics. We need to look at the language people are using, because a woman over 40 might not say, you know what, today I think I'm going to look into hormone treatment. She might be saying, I don't know why I'm eating less calories and I'm still not losing weight, right? Her brain is not saying hormone treatment. I'm not picking on you, Betty. I'm just, you've given me a good example here.
No, I wanted to give you a good.
Yeah, it's perfect. A lot of times we confuse keywords, jargon, acronyms, and buzzwords as something that the average person types into the box, and that's not what they do. So in addition to your keywords, you may even want to type in some pain points. But what we're going to do is we're going to look at these videos, and we are going to look at the format. So in this video right here, this gentleman is talking to the camera. He's got a hook that says marketing trick you wish you knew sooner. I don't even have to watch that video. I can just go make a video that says marketing trick you wish you knew sooner and talk to the camera. And chances are my video has a higher probability of success, because that is what we call a proven viral format. Okay. So the good news is that you don't have to create a new format or come to the table and, surprise people every day. What you need to do is you need to go where the attention is and how people are consuming that attention. And what we'll say is you're going to emulate. I don't want you to copy people or say exactly what they say. I want you to use your expertise, but the window in which people are consuming that content is through these formats. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay. And if you spend 5 to 10 minutes a day or 20 minutes to 30 minutes a week doing this process, you will fill your content calendar with proven ideas. Does that mean they'll go viral right away? No, but it gives you a chance to test some different things to see what topics are doing the best, what format is doing the best, so we can stop hitting our foot with a hammer. Okay. I call this the lottery ticket method. You can guess 7 numbers to win the millions, or you could do this research and you can get a lottery ticket that has 6 of the 7 numbers filled out. I know which lottery ticket I want. The choice is yours for what you want to do. Now, if you don't like TikTok or you're anti-TikTok, I get it. You can also go to Instagram and go to any creator that you like and just look for their most highest reached posts. And again, we're going to look through the content. We're going to say, what is this about? What's the topic? What's the format? What's the hook? And see what we can extract from that for our own niche, okay? Because we might find, this video that my first session of viral videos, or my first signature format was, here's a business idea, do something with it, okay? That was the hook. And the reason that worked is because people don't know what business to do. There's information everywhere. And I'm saying here, I'm going to give you a business idea, go do something with it, challenge. And then I would depict what you're going to do. You're going to start an email list. And you're going to do this. And you're going to do that. And it worked like gangbusters. Okay. So you could go to any of your favorite creators. And there's even it's not on Instagram, but it's on TikTok. It's called Sort Talk. You can go to any creator and filter by views and see all of their best content first. If there's somebody who you like, and I really recommend that you find a couple creators that you like as your North Star, not to compare yourself to, not to feel bad about yourself, but to look where they're getting attention and see how you can kind of extract that topic, that hook, that format, and test it for yourself, right? Again, we're using our own expertise. I'm not saying copy, and I love AI, but don't have AI write your scripts. Be you, because we're buying you. And if you've got a weird high voice, be weird and high. If you're dry, be dry. Don't try to be something you're not. Just be you and use your expertise and your opinions, because opinions are more valuable than information at this point. People love being on one side of something, right? They love to be in a gang, right? If you just look at politics, right? It's just like two people in two different gangs who hate each other, right? Having an opinion is very valuable in 2024 if you feel like sharing it, okay? All right, cool. So again, we're looking for the hooks, right? Free online courses. Watch this if you're a creator. Got so many more views than these other videos, right? So obviously we want to not hit our foot with a hammer and do that stuff anymore. We want to try to do stuff that works, all right? But you're not going to know what works unless you test. And this is where most people get caught up, is they may be getting like 1,000 views per video or 5,000 views per video, and they're stuffed there, but they're afraid to get anything less. They think, oh, if I post it and it gets less, it bombs. And here's the coolest thing that's going to free you from content jail. Content has a shelf life of about 90 days max, okay? So whatever you're posting about, isn't a tattoo that's on your face forever. Let's just say that way. If you post something and it doesn't do well, that's actually a good thing, because it allows you to know what not to do next, okay? Just like in our business, if we have 3 offers and one's selling like gangbusters and the other 2 aren't, what are we going to do? We're going to turn off the ads for that offer. We're going to stop talking about it. So getting low views is actually a benefit to you. It means that either, one factor was off, the topic was off, the format was off, the length might have been off. You have to kind of, look at the content a little bit, but don't be afraid to test, okay? You won't remember. None of you remember what you posted 90 days ago. I know it for a fact, and you won't remember now. And so having one stinker of a video is not a bad thing. It's actually a really good thing, because we're going to test hooks, okay? We're going to test topics. We are going to try to test different structures and style, because chances are you're not 100% sure what people do like from you, right? The data will show what people like from you, but you might not have been looking back at your content in that light. You may have just been looking at it as a judgment upon yourself or a waste of time, but it's really important to test. So if we go back to Tammy, once we started testing some different formats, we got out of audiogram world, and we tested some talking to camera and stuff. We found that we got some big hits, okay? 65, 38. And that allowed us to know, what we should be doing more of. In this instance, what we learned was, as a relationship coach, when she showed her spouse, she got more views. It can be something as simple as that, right? You're listening to a relationship coach, but you never see the spouse. How authentic and trustworthy is that? Now we've got the husband in the content and things starting to pick up. And what this says is, what these numbers say is that the algorithm knew who to refer this content to. It saw 2 people, relationship. One of the biggest mistakes we made in our marriage, married people. The referral engine now had the context with who to show this video to, because that's all the algorithm wants to do, is put you in front of the right person. But most of us don't give it the right context in order to do that. So that's the kind of key here. We were, spicy, keeping your marriage spicy, good hook. One of the biggest mistakes we made, good hook. Married 25 years, the hooks are improving, the content is improving. And so we'll see Tammy in a minute here. But the most important part of after testing is that once something takes, you need to start doing that again, because that is that repetition or that signature format we talked about. So in my case, I did a video as a test. Here's a business idea, do something with it. And I did it. It did the normal numbers. the day of. 2 weeks later, it went to 2 million views. Okay. Now, if I would have posted that video and said, oh, this is a stinker and deleted it, I would have had no chance at those millions of views. But once it hit 100,000 views, I was elated because I had been stuck at 4,000 views forever. I immediately stopped all the other content and did more of that format, which allowed me to get millions and millions and millions of views, hundreds of thousands of followers, because I stopped doing what wasn't working and I started repeating the thing that did really well. Okay, this is a big thing because most of you probably have a reel that did really well and you have no idea why. And so you just keep going on your merry way and just kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall and, oh, that didn't work. That didn't work. Oh, that one worked. I have no idea why, right? So we need to make sure that we're using the data that the algorithm provides for us. And again, people are making videos viral. So we need to see where the attention was for us. And we need to be able to repeat that, okay? Which doesn't mean you repeat what you say. It doesn't mean that you're just going to say the same thing all the time. But you figured out the format that people like to consume from you, that packaging of that candy bar. And I hope that makes sense, okay? So once we know what works, we can update our schedule with what works, which actually means in some capacity, we could almost post less and get more views by not doing the in-betweeny penny candy content where we're just chucking something up there to feed the algorithm, okay? I don't post more than 3 times a week. 1, because I do storytelling and it takes a long time. But 2, I'm not going to wear myself out because I get enough views on each video long-term that I don't have to post every single day. And so it becomes a real benefit to you if you're feeling like you're on this treadmill of filling up your content calendar and chucking stuff out and just nothing's going. Once you get something that works, do it again. That is the number 1 rule in my program, Reels Millionaire. If it works, do it again, okay? Don't forget that. Because once things start rolling, we get momentum, okay? And once we have momentum, we need to be consistent with that momentum. We need to be consistent with the format, the messaging, the packaging, and that's what activates what we call the wave. And you might have seen creators that and all of a sudden they go from like 1,000 views to like 50,000 views every video. What that says is that the algorithm is really comfortable referring you at scale, and it will refer a lot of your videos. It will even go back to the ones we didn't delete, and it will push those up more. It activates this wave where you get this huge momentum. And back to Tammy, after we got that huge momentum with the 60, the 40, the 30K, things started to go nuts. 6.8 million views, 1.1 million views. She has a video with 66 million views on it. It's more than I've ever seen anybody get. But she's still on the wave because in 3 years, it took her to get 1,700 followers. In 3 months with us, she's got 141K, probably more than that now. She gets 60 to 100 leads from one post. She has more clients than she could ever imagine ever working with. Her podcast is getting thousands and thousands of downloads. She's getting brand deals, speaking opportunities. And this all happened in the matter of just a few months by using the exact system that I mentioned. Okay. Oh, here you go. These are just 3 off of her feed: 66 million, 34 million, 38 million views. Okay. And none of this content is hard to make. This is literally her sitting with her husband eating dinner. And the reason that this video works so well is because people who have a bad relationship can avoid each other all day long, except when it's time to sit down to eat. So she combined it with 10 questions that you could talk about over dinner to help your marriage, and 66 million people found that very valuable. So, Tammy's not a video editor. She's not she's nothing that you would think would be getting this kind of views, on paper. But it doesn't end there. I've helped people get hundreds of people do this. This is Danny. She had 1,000 followers. She now has 116,000. She's doing affiliate marketing for a product called Norwex, which is it's a green cleaning product, no chemicals. Leah, she is in the kind of VFX creativity world. Got her 117,000 followers in 12 weeks. She just quit her full-time job at Tumblr, and she's doing 20K a month with her course. This is Isabel. She got 65,000 followers in 12 weeks, and she's doing 10K a month in affiliate sales with health and lifestyle brands. The list just goes on and on, like Slow Living, VFX artist, Deal Saver, video creator. All of these people use the exact method that I talked about, which is reverse engineer attention, test and refine, and go into that signature format. They all use the exact same thing. No hashtags, no trending audio, no bullshit, none of the wacky hacky stuff. We train the algorithm to put us in front of non-followers for our business at scale. Okay? So I know I just kind of fire hosed you guys with a bunch of information. The one thing that I can tell you is, and I hope this is okay, Sammy, we do have a program called Reels Millionaire, and it is a live cohort of coaching. Because I bought all of the Reels courses, and they're all the same thing. They throw you into a back end. They say post 3 times a day, use these hashtags, use trending audio. And while that might work once, each of you on this call have individual skills, niches, expertise, styles, and there's no possible way that anybody can do that for you in a course. So we created a 16-week coaching program where every single week we work you through the program. We look at your content. We tell you, what to do next or recommend what to do next. We bring you ideas, and we basically just inject that lift into your account so you can bring in tons of leads through content, through your podcast, through your offers. And if you want to chat with me about it, I'm happy to drop my Calendly link. It's a no obligation conversation. Here, I'll just grab that link real quick and drop it here. I could tell you about the program,
Travis, for sure.
Yeah, if you feel like it would be something that would be a good for you, there's no place to buy this because I only want to work with people that are going to get results so I can show you on my next presentation. But I think we've got 17 minutes left. If people want to stay, I'm happy to answer any questions just because I know I gave you a lot of information at first. What I want you to really know is that it's simpler than you think it is. The more content you look at, the less content you make. The more content you look through, the more ideas you will get for your content. The more you compare yourself to somebody, the less content you will make. The way to compare yourself is to go apples to apples. If you love a YouTuber, go back to their first video. Compare yourself to that, okay? Or their third video. Compare yourself to that. If you're doing better than that, you're on the right path. But most people get so locked up with this content game that they don't end up making sales. And better than sales, your impact in the world. That's why, that's why I got into this. I wanted to make an impact. I wanted to impact people that impact other people. And that's really important to me in my business and my life. And I'm sure a lot of you have that same sort of feeling as far as like the impact you want to make in the world. So I'll stop talking now. Sam, thank you for the microphone.
Damn, that was some heat. Thank you so much. I think everyone in the chat is like, oh my God, I've got people. I did a little sneak peek inside Facebook just so they could see behind the curtains of what we do in the mastermind. And guess what? Bye-bye, guys. That's all you get for now. So I just shut that off on Facebook. Oh my God. Such great value. I know that how good is that, guys? Are you guys just loving this? Let's do this. Maybe we can do a couple questions. We've got some really good podcasters on here. Kirsten, I know you're on here. She's got a podcast called The Naked Truth. Maybe popcorn on a couple of these. Who has a question for Travis? Or maybe we can take somebody's Instagram and take a look at it, and we can do a quick hot seat on that. Do you want to, Betty? You want to pull up your Instagram real fast?
Yeah, I can.
Or I can pull yours up. You
can pull mine up. And pull the screen.
I'll pull it up. What is it, Betty?
It's Betty Murray _PhD. So I think I'm hearing probably the first thing is I shy away from Reels.
Yeah, that will do it.
Do it. It's not that I don't ever do them, but I don't do them a lot. And I had Sammy can say this. I had almost no followers 9 months ago because I'm very, I would say, a hesitant, Instagram person.
Why is that? So, tell me why.
A lot of it was just my schedule's too overwhelming, too much on it, all that stuff. And you get to the end of the day and I would go, I don't even know what I feel like saying, even though I'm opinionated. If you listen to my podcast and I have a lot to say, I think it's that feeling that I need to create on the fly or sit down and think through 100 little bits and pieces. And it's not my favorite thing to do. So I put it aside and then I never get to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's all good. Hey, I'm going to tell you guys something really important. And this is something that I do in my podcast business. And this is how I help people get like millions of downloads on their podcast. The exact framework that I showed you should be something you consider for the topics that you talk about in your podcast. Because then if you pulled 3 ideas and you brought those into your, oh, wow, thank you. Oh no, it's a spider. Oh my gosh. Sorry, it's spring break here, so I've got everybody's hang. If you do that with your podcast, then you know the exact clips to pull. So it actually, instead of, this is the theme I see with podcaster. I show up, I've got an idea of what I want to talk about, I talk, and then I have to sift through to find the viral moment or the thing that I think people are going to like. And you can actually pre-purpose every viral moment of your podcast, every clip, by just doing 5 to 10 minutes of research, like I just showed you. And then you'll know exactly what the viral moment is. Then you know exactly what to clip out. It makes your life a whole lot easier. And then the clip goes on your social media where all the people are, and they're more likely to then go want to listen to that episode because you have that attention rich topic included in what you do. Okay.
Yeah. So that's, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna look at your account. Everything's looking really good. Love the profile picture. I would even get you a little closer, just because.
I thought another picture. Once you're your whatever, it's changing your picture and stuff's a pain in the butt. So
yeah, I get it. You're verified, so you got to do a whole thing. I like.
Okay.
Menopause and metabolism expert, nutritionist. Is this nutritionist?
Yeah. So my VA messed that up, and then once you save it, you can't get it changed for a month.
Oh, nice.
You can only do it on a phone. So she was on one of my phones, and I was like, okay, not great. But anyway, that just happened the other day. But I do I do use Opus Clips to pick out the most viral things and from my podcast, but I don't do a lot of me outside of clip from me recording my podcast. I just started doing some, honestly.
Okay. Well, check this out. In one sentence, tell me what you do with women over 40.
So with women over 40, we help women get back in touch with their body. And we do have a weight loss program that helps women do that. And one of the things I was going to ask you is we are in the middle of launching a telemedicine service across the U.S. to help women who are in perimenopause and menopause with hormone treatment. And so a little bit of what I'm going to be talking about, I've been shifting the conversation a little bit more towards, hey, do you recognize this is your problem? But you feel bad? To sort of accommodate that broader reach and broader scope of what I wanted to do.
Okay. What are the main pain points of menopause?
So hot flashes, night sweats, weight gain, brain fog, fatigue, mood swings, lack of libido, irritability.
Okay. So you did something with weight, right?
Yep, lots of weight. Yeah.
Mood swings, sleep disturbance. I'm just bone density loss, weight gain, and changes it. There's probably right now we don't have a tangible outcome. So when I look at your profile, it all looks really good, but I don't know, like in that snap decision, I'm just guessing because I don't have menopause or my wife doesn't have menopause yet, that weight gain is a big part of that. Like
it's a huge part.
Then that's your umbrella is like helping women lose. How much do they want to lose? Right. Like how much on average, 10, 15, 20 pounds?
Yeah. Usually 20, actually a little more than that. It's like 20 to 30.
Great. Like the bio is your best case scenario, right? I'll tell you all right now, I can get you all 100,000 followers in 90 days based on expert content. Okay. Now I'll tell you that because there are students that don't show up to calls, that don't do the work, that don't make videos. And do they get 100,000 followers? No, it's best case scenario. It's you show up, you actually listen, you actually do the thing. I will get you big results. So we could say something like, helping women with menopause lose 30 pounds in X days, or like, what's your product? So
right now we have it usually starts with a hormone quiz. So we have a 90-day women's weight loss program to help women lose that.
How much weight? 30 pounds in 90 days?
That should be the top thing there. So that should be instead of the functional medicine, whatever, that should be my call to action, lose up to 30 pounds in 90 days.
Absolutely. That's what they want.
Yeah. Because they think
helping women with menopause lose helping women with menopause lose 30 pounds in 90 days. Bam.
Okay.
Now, how do you do that? What is the 3-step method? First, second, third?
Yeah. So first is identify your primary hormonal imbalances that are contributing to your weight gain.
Okay. Identify.
Second is ignite. So ignite the metabolic damage. And so you can fix your metabolism. And then the third is rebalance. Right. Because the other thing is no one wants to be on a diet, especially if you're over 50.
Yeah, for sure.
It's basically, you said.
Yeah. So it's identify,
ignite is eat,
Yep.
and the third one is rebalance is maintain, essentially, right? Okay. So you're telling me I don't have to go to the gym to do this.
Right.
Even better, right?
I'm not a fitness person. I have fitness friends, but I don't do it.
Helping women with menopause lose 30 pounds in 90 days without going to the gym.
Podcast host.
Podcast host, and then I'll just be totally transparent with you. This makes me anxious. All I want to do is click away from this.
Okay.
What do you want me to do here?
Yeah, I'd rather have them click on an offer and go to buy something. You know what I mean? Right. So I think
at a minimum, it's one thing. Because when you give me all these decisions, I don't know what to do. I immediately want to click out of it. Like, I'm just giving you fearless feedback because
no, 100%. No, 100%.
Right. Whatever you want them to do the most should be your link. So you have a quiz. I love the quizzes. I love it.
Yeah, my quiz has been real hard. It's gotten me 54,000 leads in 18 months.
Exactly. So take my free, own score quiz.
Yeah. Okay. Because then there they get the prompts to do the next thing.
Exactly. But when you give me all this to do, I just want to jump out of a window. I'm like, I'm not doing any of it. Right through the plate glass window. So just remember, people are busy. They make snap decisions. They have a 6th grade reading level. They're not using jargon or thinking about this stuff. They're just thinking like, I can't lose this weight because of menopause. What am I going to do? That's all they care about. And those few changes will increase the follower count based off of your content. Now, your content, here's the good news and the bad news. Your content needs to honor this promise. Because if you send me an email list and say, I'm going to give you the best deals on tech products every single week, and I subscribe to that email list, and then you start talking about a fundraiser for your dog and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, I am unsubscribing from that email list, right? The same thing goes with your content. If you're going to help me lose 90 pounds, 30 pounds in 90 days, then, and it's your goals, eat and rebalance, then your content needs to do that, right? So you mentioned a bunch of stuff at the beginning. Those would all be things you need to talk about. You need to talk about food that you eat that can help your metabolism. You basically, our job at this point is I call it getting them in the water. Basically, there's a person standing outside of the water. The water is losing weight. I'm going to give them enough information to just get in the water. Once they get in the water, they realize I can't swim. I need help. Who am I going to help? Who am I going to ask to help me teach to swim? Betty, she got me in the water, right? So your content becomes literally teaching them how to do the thing you charge for free, because people won't do anything with it. They like to buy things and they want to be a part of a community and have a mentor. Okay. So when I look at your content, and this is just fearless feedback, I have no idea what I'm going to get out of you every day. And that becomes a problem because, like our email list, I want the stuff, right? So
for sure, my email is very directed toward that, but the content here, not necessarily. I talk a lot about what's happening in menopause and things like that, but it's not necessarily 100% clear.
I want you to think about the woman who wakes up one day and realizes that she's gained 30 pounds. She has low self-esteem now. She wants nothing more to get rid of it. That's like the top of your funnel right there. Okay. And the more you can talk about how to lose weight, what to eat. I mean, it could be as simple as like, eat this, not that, for menopause. Like you don't have to make like epic content, but if you research menopause and weight gain, you will see all the things that they're looking for, and you can make videos of that.
Awesome.
Hopefully that's helpful. Yes. So you've got like you're 75% there. We just need to, just make a few adjustments to make sure, because, if I go menopause, there's gigantic accounts, 549,000 followers, right? Mm-hmm. Right now, she's at the point where she's so big she can, do all this crap in her bio. But at some point, it didn't say this. At some point, it said, "I will help you lose weight with your right." So, but you have access to this many people, is what I want to say. It's like you have access to millions and millions of people. This is just one account. Mm-hmm. Okay,
that's awesome. That's so helpful. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, what I do with my students is I work you through those 3 processes. It's a weekly meetup. We review your content just like this. I mean, I didn't really review your content, but like it would be all about the content. And what we do is it's short form video. It works on Instagram, works on TikTok, it works on YouTube, it works on Facebook. I have a viral video on every single platform, and it's all the same content. It's just distributed to all the different platforms, and sometimes one platform likes one video better than the other. But what we're talking about here is very basic. We're all fighting for attention. If I have a podcast, I want you to listen to my podcast before they listen to your podcast. If I have a video, I want you to watch my video. If I have an email, I want you to read I mean, it's just constant. So we have to learn how to reverse engineer attention, or else it's going to be slow going, slow growing, and it's totally possible as long as like I said, you're broad enough to reach those millions of people.
Okay. That has been very, very helpful. Very helpful.
Heck yeah. Let's see here. Stuart says, just getting through it is a great outcome. Yeah. What do you do, Stuart?
I help startups. I haven't really productized myself successfully as a, startup advisor and consultant. It's just been very haphazard. And I've been producing podcasts for the last few years. Part of my regular day job at university, mostly in science. And I've done like 500 episodes. So I've been successful making other people successful.
Yeah.
Mostly, I produced, edited, it's kind of one thing that's a little thing to discuss is a lot of the things I do, they're not really broad. I mean, they're really niche. I mean, I'm actually amazed how many people give a shit about astrophysics when we do astrophysics kinds of topics and very esoteric things. This other one I produced is specifically for Hollywood screenwriters to help their careers. So it's very narrow. It's not the things that you said.
This is something I battle with people on all the time.
Yeah.
Is Neil deGrasse Tyson a household name?
He's one. So we
why?
are.
Do you know why?
We actually are not far behind him. We compete with him in podcast rating and down. But yeah, he's entertaining.
No, he makes complex things easy to understand. So if you just go in straight with astrophysics, sure, you're going to lose a lot of people.
We don't do, the people they do that to some extent, but also their differentiator from him is they don't dumb it down. So it's not that easy to understand. They go deeper. So it's kind of at odds with the mass, in fact, that's specifically what some of these Professor Keating, the guy that I was working with, he argues with deGrasse Tyson. We've been on each other's shows.
Okay.
We've had that argument. And he's always saying, you simplify it and everything, but your armchair, you're dumbing it down. I don't do that. I keep it elevated.
Well, it's not dumbing it down. It's making it accessible.
But that's the dialogue they get. That's the argument, the debate they get.
I'm just giving you the real deal. As far as startups go, there are going to be 8.9 million billion trillion AI startups in the next.
Yeah.
What do startups want? They want to get seeded. They want, I don't know, to get purchased. They want to get whatever they want. It's broader than you think. So just don't, I guess what I'm saying is don't pin yourself down and go, well, the things I do are kind of niche. Maybe, but I can make anything go viral. I made a cheap vending machine go viral. I can make a banana go viral. It's not about being niche. It's about attaching it to attention, right? So I just want to inspire you. I don't want you to.
Yeah, that's good. So it's really thinking about it differently.
Yeah, no, it's people. Again, they have a 6th grade. In the U.S. at least, they have a 6th grade reading level, right? Which means we have to make things simpler. I have a rule: if I show my kids a video and they get it, I know it's good because they're 8 and 6, and they're like they understood it, right? Explain it like I'm 5 is one of the kind of keywords I use. Is anytime I see somebody going too far into jargon, just explain it like I'm 5. Neil deGrasse Tyson that, and that wins. That wins for attention. So
yeah, well, Hubram is the other one that science net massive.
For now, looks like he's getting taken down.
Oh, really? Okay. These
I
guys,
know he's under a little scrutiny.
Yeah. So cool. Any other questions? I know.
Got this. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course, man.
Thank you.
Kirsten has a question. Kirsten.
What's up, Kirsten? You're on mute.
Sorry about that. Thanks for all of this. It's been super interesting to listen to. And I'm not sure if anyone else has this dilemma, but I get stuck in learning all of this information and seeing the power in it, and then wondering, like, my intention is to build a podcast, not an Instagram account, but I understand, like, you kind of have to do both, but then I don't want to get so pulled over to building an Instagram account or, like, focusing on social media that the podcast gets lost in the wind.
Well, the podcast, I mean, I appreciate your thoughts on that, right? A podcast is really just one marketing arm of business, right? For people like Joe Rogan, it could be the whole thing. There are people that can make a podcast the whole thing, but the way that they grow those shows is through social media, because that's where people don't go to podcast apps to find new stuff. It's word of mouth, it's social media, it's ads. So in some capacity, you need to be where the traffic is, right? You really need to be there, because that's going to get you more organic traffic, okay? Secondarily, if you simply research and pre-plan your podcast episode, you can pull those viral moments out very quickly based on what I've shown you. I get it. You don't necessarily want to build an Instagram presence, but what if I was a brand that wanted to advertise with you and you had, let's say, 5,000 downloads a month on your podcast, which is awesome. I'd be willing to offer you $1,000 to run my ad on your podcast for whatever. But if you had 100,000 followers on Instagram and you had 30,000 followers on your podcast now, or subscribers, now we're talking about multiple outlets to be promoting on. So you could promote it on your Instagram, you could promote it on your podcast, you could promote it on your email list, and now I can take in $5,000 to $10,000 for that campaign. So there is a cost opportunity when it comes to podcasts only, but as a human being, as somebody who's empathetic, I can understand how these things can get overwhelming. Just something to consider: if you're going only podcast, you're going to need either ads, word of mouth, or some other way to get people to actually go over there. Because again, podcast is the biggest request of time. If your episode's 30 minutes, you're asking me to give up 30 minutes, even though I know I could do the dishes and walk the dog and stuff like that, but I'm committing my time to you. So podcasts, and I'm biased because this is what I do all day long, is I take people who are hidden in the corner and I expose them to the world, and then everything that they have is exposed to the world, right? And unfortunately, social media is not going anywhere. Short form video isn't going anywhere. It's the way people like to consume. It's where people get information, misinformation, all that stuff is that's where it is. So you just have to acknowledge, like, okay, if I'm not going to do this, which is fine, you don't have to, I'm going to need a strategy to pull people into my world somehow, because otherwise it's just going to be slow growing. And there's just, my fear is that it doesn't grow far enough for you to say, I want to continue to waste my time or use my time on this. And then you stop.
Thanks. I need to hear that.
Yeah. Social media.
Yeah, you hear that, Kirsten.
It's not as yucky as you think. I like to think of it as like a little TV station. Okay. And my feed is primetime TV. And so I'm going to go research. I'm going to find the best topics. I'm going to make the best video I can. And I'm going to post it on my feed. And that honors my bio, just like I talked about with Betty. Okay. Anything else, I can talk about in my stories. I can go live. It's a really great platform to do multiple things. But like, feed is primetime. So I'm going to promote. If I'm Kirsten, what's your podcast about?
It's a show about sex and dating and relationships for men.
Okay. So, do you think men are searching on podcast apps for dating advice, or do you think that they're getting it from social media? Like it comes to that with where are the men,
On YouTube.
Or if you look at what's her face? Who had the biggest podcast ever? The blonde girl. She got bought by Spotify.
Call her daddy.
Oh, call her daddy.
She did not grow that
Call her daddy.
podcast without social media. Social media was what grew that podcast to what it was. It was social media clips of her talking about stuff that made people aware there was even more content to listen to. So I'm not saying you have to do it, but you definitely need a plan if you're not going to do it, because that's where the eyes are. And if you want the ears, you got to go where the eyes are first.
Thanks.
So,
Plus,
right.
people are going to want to see you. Sex sells. And if you're talking about sex, they're going to want to see what you look like. They're going to, who's this talking about this? So, you have that sort of personality with the audio. But again, I'm biased. So I could go on and on about, what I think you should do. It's your life, your podcast.
We do joke. Kirsten has an incredible voice for podcasting. I think you have another sidestep into ASMR, like reading kids' books, whatever. I mean, there's so many things that social media does that you can't do with podcasting, right? You have the ability to do such quick little non-paid, like produced types of things. So yeah, there you go. There's Kirsten's.
Playfully
Mhm.
exploring sex and connections. I mean, what you just told me something different though. You help men in the dating world get more dates, right?
It's more about sex, but yeah.
Get more sex. That's even better than dates, right? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Yeah, I
always
mean,
my thoughts are there's always small hinges swing big doors, right? So small changes make big differences. The one thing that I don't see on this account is the one thing I want to see the most, which is you. I know you're featuring your guests, but it's almost like this is the only time we see you. And then we don't see you. Gone. Oh, there you are.
that was like all old. This is like all old stuff before I
It's okay.
started.
It's okay.
I know I hide. I don't want to be on that.
It's all right. I mean, I get it. It's it's an interesting topic. But what's the worst thing that could happen, right? You get more
You
listeners.
could explode. You can get more listeners.
Oh, everybody has their own comfort level, which I
Travis, this has been
Yeah.
so good. Travis, thank you so much. You did drop all that information here. The Calendly, we've got that. We're going to send that out. Ray and I are super excited to engage with you. We are going to for sure be working with Travis for a long time. And then, did you drop your Instagram in here too, Travis, so they could do that? If
Oh,
you
no,
didn't,
I
can
forgot
do
to
it
do
as
it.
well. But
It's my
let's
name.
drop that in there.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's so good.
Yeah. Listen, book a coffee call. It's a no obligation chat. Lasts about 20 minutes. My goal is usually to give you a little more clarity on what you do, tell you about my program. It's up to you. Choose your adventure. Obviously, you're in good hands with Sam. He's here to help you guys grow and maximize everything you do. He's, very interested in viral marketing and growth and sales. So obviously you're obviously in good hands. But what I can tell you is that, this particular everything that I've shown you works with or without me. It'll go faster with me, but if you just research a little bit, you're gonna be headed in the right direction. So thank you so much for staying, playing, having fun with me, and thank you, Sam and Ray, for having me.
Totally. And I think, I appreciate that we're in good hands. I think one of the best things I do outside of just playing a really ripping DJ set is I lead you guys to some of the best people in the world at this stuff. So Travis, you are absolutely one of the best in the game at this. If you guys do not book a call, you guys are idiots. Make sure you do that. Get that on the books because and this goes for the replay people. You guys need to book a call with Travis ASAP. This is who we're going to be using for the duration. I just tagged Vision and JJ Virgin in there and Jeff Hunter, and they're like, holy shit. Like, this is on Facebook, but they're saying that Jeff Hunter's like, dude, you got to check out this offer. Guys, this is the key to growing. This is not what we can focus on either with podcasting as much as we want. And that's why we bring in people like Travis. That's why we bring in these guest experts. As much as I want to focus, my job is to make sure that your show rocks and that you guys are becoming the best storytellers and the best podcast authorities in your space. So that's what's so great about us having people like Travis. Travis, thanks again for being here.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
You guys, we'll see you guys next month on the next mastermind. Thanks for being here, Stuart and Ray. Thank you so much for being my love. And Kirsten, don't be scared. Your hair's looking flawless today too. I'm loving the new whipper. And Betty, thanks for being here, honey. I know you're gonna grab a call in there. I cannot wait to see the explosive growth when you just pivot those little things. I mean, I was like, oh, That's good. I got 200 new followers when I changed my description on mine, and I got to rehance it again. And each time I listen to Travis, I'm like, oh, dude, you got to fix that again.
Yeah,
so anyway,
I changed my bio. I'm in the middle of getting stuff off Linktree right now. I'm like, I can
Love
do that.
the action taking. Love it.
totally. Stuart, we'll follow up with you too. We got lots to kind of zero in with.
Travis, I really appreciated how succinctly you're able to present so much in a short amount of time. Really actionable stuff.
Cool. Thanks for being.
That is game changing. Totally awesome. Thanks, guys. Well, we'll see you guys next month, and then connect with us and get that link here with Travis. And then for those of you guys watching the replay, y'all suck for not being here, but we love you. We'll talk to you guys soon. Now that was a great episode. Thanks for joining us and tuning in to the Healthy Profits Podcast.
Sammy and I are here to help you turn your health podcast into a treasure trove of opportunity for your listeners and your business. So join us twice a week as we unleash our favorite tips and strategies that have helped our clients at Evolve Podcasting turn their show into a thriving part of their business.
And make sure you subscribe and listen in as each episode builds upon each other. And I know that you're a generous leader, so make sure you share this podcast with your fellow wellness entrepreneurs so we can all grow together.
Until next time, stay healthy and keep thriving.
Bye.
Bye.